Welcome to our video on 9 weird autistic traits you might not notice unless you've spent a lot of time around the autistic community. Now, I'm talking about things that folks on the spectrum do that might seem a little different. These traits don't make you autistic, but they're pretty common in autistic people. So if you've ever wondered why your autistic friend does that thing, this video might give you some answers. Okay, first up, let's talk about senses. You see, a lot of us autistic folks, we experience the world a bit differently when it comes to our senses. It's like our volume knobs are turned way up, or in some cases, way down. For me, it was always flickering fluorescent lights and scratchy clothing. Imagine a symphony playing at full blast all the time. That's what sensory overload can feel like for some of us. It's not just about disliking something. It's about feeling physically overwhelmed. Now, you might have heard the term stimming before. It's short for self-stimulatory behavior, and it's something a lot of autistic people do. Think of it like this. Imagine you're feeling anxious, so you start tapping your foot or twirling your hair. Stimming is kind of like that, except for us, it's a way to regulate our sensory input. It can be anything from flapping our hands to rocking back and forth, whatever helps us feel grounded and calm. We autistic folks, we tend to get really into things. And I mean really into them. These are our special interests, and they're not just hobbies, they're passions that can consume our thoughts and conversations. For me, it was always cattle and understanding how they experience the world. It's like having a superpower, this ability to hyper-focus on something and learn everything there is to know about it. Chapter 4. Eye contact. Sometimes it's just too much. Ever notice how some autistic people have a hard time making eye contact? It's not that we're being rude or disinterested, it's just that for many of us, eye contact can feel incredibly intense, almost painful. Think of it like staring directly into a bright light. It's just too much sensory input to handle for long periods. Chapter 5. Literal thinkers, we mean what we say. One thing about us autistic folks, we tend to take things very literally. Sarcasm, metaphors, figures of speech, they can all go right over our heads. And you know what? That's okay. We value clear, direct communication, and sometimes those figures of speech just muddy the waters. Chapter 6. Routine equals sign safety. Imagine your world is a giant puzzle, and you've finally figured out how all the pieces fit together. That's what routine feels like for many autistic people. It's about creating order and predictability in a world that can often feel chaotic and overwhelming. So, if we get a little flustered when plans change, it's not because we're being difficult, it's because you've just knocked over our carefully constructed puzzle. Chapter 7. Social cues decoding the mystery. Let's be honest, the social world can be a confusing place, especially for those of us on the spectrum. Reading social cues like body language and tone of voice, it's like trying to decipher a foreign language we never learned. It's not that we don't want to connect with others, it's just that sometimes we need a little help understanding the rules of the game. Chapter 8. Monotone voice? We're not robots. You might notice that some autistic people speak in a monotone voice, or maybe their speech patterns sound a little different. It's not that we're trying to sound robotic, it's just that sometimes the rhythm and intonation of speech don't come naturally to us. But hey, that's okay. We all have our own unique ways of communicating. Chapter 9. Hyperfocus, our superpower. When we find something that truly captures our interest, we can hyperfocus on it for hours on end, completely shutting out the rest of the world. It's like entering a flow state where time seems to stand still, and we're completely absorbed in the task at hand. This ability to hyperfocus can be a real asset in certain fields, allowing us to achieve incredible levels of concentration and productivity. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, please like and subscribe for more content on understanding autism and neurodiversity. Remember, these traits are just a part of the rich tapestry of human diversity. It's our differences that make us who we are, and by embracing neurodiversity, we create a more inclusive and compassionate world for everyone.